Hello, this is a message for someone whose energy is being either siphoned right now or someone is attempting to siphon your energy. And if you don't know what that means, it's a process in which a dynamic gets established with a person. Is a parasitic dynamic where the person feeds off of the other's energy, okay? And it's an imbalanced dynamic. There's no give and take. There's just not just taking but draining. It's a vampiric relationship basically. And whoever this message is for, there's two groups actually. One of them, they've had this relationship, this dynamic with this person for a long time, but they might just be coming to the realization that there's something wrong with the dynamic recently. And then there's a second group where this is a new relationship and you feel like there's something off about the way things are unfolding and the way you feel around this person. And so for this group, is a dynamic that this person is trying to establish but hasn't been established yet, okay? In either case, you're dealing with an individual that they may not be fully conscious that they do this, but yet they do know. They know that they need other people to sustain them. And this could take a number of different forms, okay? This could be on a material resources level. This could be a codependent person that doesn't know how to fend for themselves, or their way of fending for themselves is to latch on to somebody, okay? Or it could be someone who is more energetic. Maybe someone who doesn't have their own drive or their own motion, and they rely on other people for that, okay? So there's someone who just sort of naturally rides other people's coattails, and this is just the way they've always operated. So to them, it may just be like a personality trait. They may feel like they're a person who needs others a lot. They may call themselves very social. They may call themselves very extroverted. They might explain it to themselves and others that way, okay? Because essentially what they have realized is that with their level of consciousness is that when they're around certain people, or even people in general, they get recharged. And when they're by themselves, it's not just that they get drained, it's that they ran out of their fuel. They don't know how to recharge themselves, refuel themselves. This is not a thing in their life. They don't even have a concept. So you will notice that this person, when if you're observing them, if you're getting close to them, whether it's been for a long time and you're just realizing some things right now, or whether it's a new person and you're just realizing, connecting the dots before this fully gets established, what you will notice is that when they don't have that supply that they need from others, whatever form it takes in their life, they start panicking. They start panicking and they start acting out to get it however means necessary, okay? So they might start acting chaotic or start drama. They might be instigating weird situations. It's all to get this fuel, And yeah, we could get into, of course, there's a lot of talk of narcissistic personalities and people with those tendencies that is, very much promoted into these societies. So it's kind of prevalent. But we're not going to get into that. Of course, these things could overlap, but the message here is to the person who is, I'm not going to say victim, because the message is precisely about that. It's about realizing that, yes, this person is either siphoning off of you, and it's, of course, draining you and becoming a real problem in your life, or is attempting to do so. But the message is about how you can not be a cooperative component to this, okay? So basically, what role do you play in this is what you need to be asking yourself. How are you allowing them to do this? Or in the case of someone who's resisting this dynamic being established, how do you make sure it doesn't get established, right? Because whenever we deal with these personalities, there's a level of choice in the matter. The thing is, we're often not fully aware of this choice, and so we engage in it unconsciously, okay? But and then, you know, there's the temptation to play victim mentality and then act like, well, these things just happened to me. I, you know, run into this problematic person and they victimized me. And while that may be true to an extent, that is not the position or the perspective that's gonna get you out of it. The perspective that's gonna get you out of it is to understand how you have allowed that to happen, or how you are allowing that to happen. How are you cooperating? In which ways are you making this easy or viable for this person to do this to you? Okay, so that's what the message is about. Is, yeah, like a shadow work type message of facing what is it that you're doing that is allowing this person to establish this dynamic with you, or that has allowed this person to feed off of this dynamic with you for so long. Now, the important thing here to determine whether this message is for you is whether this is happening to you. And here are some of the key signs that you will know, besides everything else resonating, okay? These are the key signs that will let you know this person has been siphoning off of you, okay? Number one, they drain the living life out of you, okay? And this is not something you experience with other people, okay? Even if you are an introvert and you feel easily drained by social interaction, this is on another level. This person just drains you, like, in a way that maybe might be even difficult for you to articulate, okay? It may be possible that you get in interactions and situations with this person that you predicted to be easy or simple, and they drain you so very much that you end up having to take like serious timeouts. That's one of the ways you will know. If this person has caused you to take naps, if you've had to literally go take a nap after dealing with this person, okay? Or take some kind of, you know, recharge, like you feel like you need to do something extra to recharge after dealing with this person for normal things. Now, sign number two, they try to hijack parts of your life or your personality and make them their own in a way that excludes you of it almost, okay? So say you were into a certain sport before you met this person got into the sport because of you. You can be happy about it, but maybe then they start acting like they're the ones who were always into it and you are not, like, somehow as much a fan. Like, they start putting you down about it, okay? It's like they take over your personality traits and then they act like you stole them from them, instead of, you know, giving you proper credit and saying, oh yeah, you got me into this, and using it as a bonding thing. They use it as something to sort of play a weird mindfuck game with, okay? They may not fully realize they're doing it, but that's one of the major signs. Major sign number three is this person, when left to their own devices, they become almost like identity-less, like they become void and empty and run down, and they lose all sense of, yeah, like personality, okay? So if this all resonates with you, what's happening is you need to realize this is all happening so you become aware. And once you become aware, you can choose not to participate. You can choose not to let this person do this to you. How? Well, you start noticing those moments where they're sort of hooking into you and start sucking you dry. You start noticing how your energy leaves your body. And in that moment, you disengage. That's the super, super key. In that moment, you disengage. Sorry, cut off. But basically, in that moment that you notice that they're starting to establish that dynamic of sucking you dry, you have to disengage on an energetic level, okay? And that you do that by sort of becoming the observer and realizing, as I always say, consciousness is the light that illuminates the darkness, right? So by you becoming conscious of the mechanism, you're in a way dismantling it and not and like deactivating it. That person cannot keep doing that to you if you're aware it's happening and you disengage energetically. You may feel an impulse to do things like leave the room, cut the conversation short, get away from them somehow. You may even like go to the bathroom. This is a good sign. This means you're learning to recognize what's happening, when it's happening, and you're learning to put a stop to it. The more you do this, the more of your energy you will feel you get to keep to yourself. You won't feel like this person is constantly draining you. So then you will become just better and sharper in general at dealing with this. And this person, now there might be a crisis in the relationship, because when this person consistently feels like they cannot siphon off of you and they're used to that, they are going to start experiencing some real serious issues. You will then get to see in what areas they were really using you as fuel, because those areas will start to collapse in their life pretty quickly once you start doing this. And so that will be further confirmation for you to sort of build your life away from them, or in a way that they can't continue to build off of you without it being a give and take. Relationships are healthy when there's a give and take, but a relationship in which someone can only act in a parasitic manner, well, that is never going to be beneficial for one of them, and not even for both of them, because who wants to be a parasite? So hopefully this was helpful.